Hello everybody, back for some more stuff, and today I'm driving and I'm about to say bye. Bye-bye. I will. I don't want to. Bye. Okay. What's up, guys? I was just leaving my Grand and Gramps' place, and my dad said that he has a guy who could fix the dent in my car pretty cheap. So I told him I don't want to. Okay, I have to remember not to talk too loud. I'm on my way to the University of Redlands. I'm on my way, and I'm making good time. Right now it says that I will arrive at 8:10. The interview begins at 9. They say to arrive at 8:40 so that you have a lot of time to figure out your parking, because apparently it's a little confusing. Wow. There's an old lady in the park doing squats, and she has a raincoat on because it's a little sprinkly. But she's still out there doing her squats in the park at 7 a.m. She's strong. Happy Write You Day, everybody! Happy Write You Day! Who is excited? Who is excited for Write You Day? Happy Write You Day. So, yeah, I'm on my way to the University of Redlands. I am pretty anxious, but actually I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it yet. I just know that I will be. I also, thanks to my gran, I have a water. So, I've got to be sipping on that water, make sure my throat is nice and not dry. I was going to say lubricated, but I don't know that that's necessarily the right term. So, yeah, my GPS thinks that the drive is going to be 53 minutes long from where we are now. And I'm getting anxious. I've practiced enough, I think. I did really well on my first interview. The woman even said, you have really good answers. But I just feel like I should be asking more questions about I feel like I should be asking more questions that show how serious I am. Like my professor was kind of saying I should, So, whoa, I'm turning right here. I was about to autopilot and go left. That whoa wasn't because I had to, turn on a dime or anything. It was just because I'm not used to it. I was surprised. I was quite shocked that I had to turn right here. Wow, I gotta speed up. Is it 50? I always forget that this road is a 50, and it's so nice. This road should be a 50. I don't think it should be any higher, and I don't think it really needs to be any lower either. So it's just really nice that it's actually a 50, Yeah, so for this interview, I'm gonna talk about how I am optimistic. I'm gonna talk about my childhood experiences. I'm gonna talk about how I value kindness and how I like that that's one of the somethings of the college. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe it's values or morals. But it's one of the somethings of the college is kindness. And I want to say that I like that it's emphasized it's emphasized just as much as inclusivity. But the problem with saying that is that if I do, it sounds like I'm downplaying things like inclusivity and like open-mindedness or whatever. I don't know. So I'm thinking that I shouldn't say that. So maybe I should say, I really like that you value kindness even when it's evidence-based practice. Because I think that, some of the people that I've met working on the text line have been really focused on the theory and like the outline for what we're supposed to do, and they focus more on that than being kind. And I think that being kind is something that matters a lot. Yeah? What do we think about that, Penguins? What do we think about that? I bet my dad doesn't even know he's in the PEGCAST. I don't even know if he is. He probably didn't come through. I mean, he was pretty far away when he said that. So, everybody, I was really stressed out about what I was going to eat, right? I was like, man, what do I have for breakfast? What do I have? And let me tell you, my concerns were absolutely done away with, because I drive up to my grand's house and she says, well, this isn't the first thing she says, of course. Also, I forgot to say Happy Pikachu Day during the Bat Peg episode. I'm realizing that right now. It was the one, so that you can remember this, it was the one where I said I was lost in the woods like Sven. And then Cammy did the nerd emoji and said that it actually wasn't Sven that was lost in the woods. And I was like trying to go through that maze with Yoshi where he had to eat the ghosts. And I had to like get him with the pineapple, and then I almost got him stuck with the ghosts in the maze. And it was just like it was just hectic. Taking a sip of water, y'all. What was I just talking about? Oh, right, so that was that. That was the Bat Peg episode, so you guys can remember. What was I talking about, though? I had something I wanted to say. It's kind of fun to be driving the direction that I'm driving right now. I'm passing this, like, huge parking lot. And I think at least the most memorable times, but maybe most of the times, like, by quantity, that I drove this direction from this place, I was going to a Smash tournament with my dad, and it was during my, like, freshman year of college, I think, because, or maybe it was, like, senior year of high school, but I'm not sure, because there's a huge parking lot here, and he would always, like, tell me that if I wanted, we could, like, practice driving in there. I'm not sure if I ever did, because I was always kind of just fine. But, yeah. Wait, this is Mount Sac? Where am I, dude? Where am I? Wait, I'm turning on to Campus Drive. I'm at a big college, dude. I bet all the college kids like that one road is a 50 as well. Actually, it's still a 50 where I am. I bet all the college kids are like, heck yeah, now I'll never be late to class or whatever. So, I don't know. Here are the real things that I know that I'll have to focus on. You might have been able to tell because I was speaking differently during the last PEGCAST, but I've been trying to practice being mindful while I speak. So usually I will be like, or I'll be like, so that I can, and I'll like hold the words and it'll like sound informal and casual. But instead, now when I'm like kind of stuck for what I want to say, especially during this interview, I like to give some time. I like to pause and think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And that's because even if I have the right intent behind what I'm saying, a lot of the time it can come off as a little weird. So if I want to say I really value kindness, and I'm glad that it, along with inclusivity, is a huge focus for the college, and that we aren't getting lost in theory and we care about people. If I just kind of like say that super fast and go along with what I'm saying, it can sound, like I was saying before, like I'm devaluing inclusivity. So, yeah, I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna take a drink of water, I should say. But, yeah. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say, I think. I might be wrong. But, so, I get to Gran's house, and she's like, we thought you were going to get here sooner. We didn't know that you had work so late. So we went and bought you a tofurkey and made it. And I was like, yeah! So, I had my tofurkey. And that was pretty exciting. And I just ate, leftovers cold tofurkey in the morning. And all you non my grandmother's recipe for tofurkey eaters, you don't know that that's like actually the best thing ever. But it's like straight up one of my favorite foods, if not my number one. I would only say that it's been overtaken because Cammie has expanded my horizons so much. And I've just had so many more kinds of foods now. I have to remember not to project so much. I'm trying to keep my voice in nice, pristine condition. Okay. So, yeah. I had my tofurkey in the morning, along with some, giant strawberries. And I'm talking giant, man. They were freaking huge, okay? They were freaking huge. And they were delectable. They were really good, but the tofurkey was so good. And I ate till I was full, and then I had, a couple more bites, but not too many, so I don't feel bad. But I'm going to be full for a while. Because here's the dealio, Penguins. I'm going to this thing. It starts at 9, and then it ends at noon. And then I have a noon to 12:30, 30-minute long tour of the campus, is what they have said to me. So I need to be full for a long time. They said that they'll have a light continental breakfast there. That's not meant for vegans. Oh, I remember what I forgot this morning. I had an orange juice that I was going to drink. But what this means is I actually didn't need the orange juice, and I didn't need the breakfast sandwich from yesterday that I was grabbing from my college. Which is a little silly, because I had a whole pocket of my backpack dedicated to things that are a little wet, like the sandwich and the orange juice and the water pick, which I also didn't have to use. So, that's funny is all. I'm behind one of those big trucks that holds the big rectangular prism, loads, But they don't have one of their rectangular prism type of loads right now. Whee! You love to see it, dude. Stay on this highway for how long? 37 miles! Sorry, guys, I was focused on merging. Gotta be careful. Especially because it's just beginning to rain for today. Today I used my dad's face lotion, and the reason he has this is because apparently he used to shower with this shower water that was like super, super drying him out. So, he talked about that with his mom, and she was like, you gotta use this one, and bought him one that says it's like for moisturizing extra super duper dry skin. And it's legit, man. I don't look so bad. I don't look so bad. I wasn't going to lotion my face originally, just because I really only like to use my Hey Humans lotion, but, you know, I was kind of in a pinch because I'm going to this interview and my face was visibly falling apart. So, you know, what can you do? What can you do? I've forfeit 4 minutes to the highway, Penguins, so, you know, do with that what you will. So, my gran got me my water, right? She said, take this water with you, and I said, thank you. My gramp so graciously gave me the banana that I was going to eat in a little paper bag. It's really sweet. So, that's fun. So I have a banana to eat sitting in my car that I'm going to eat like once I get there and I'm feeling pretty hungry. Here's something crazy town. Cuckoo Bananas crazy town. Allie, one of Cammy's roommates, and my friend... Wait, that's one person, to be clear. This is Allie, my friend, who is also Cammy's roommate. She recently was interviewing for a, like, intern position at, the Angels, like, the baseball team. And she got through the first round of interviews. And then for the second round, they just sent them, like, a bunch of clips of, like, their players doing cool stuff. And they sent them some effects. And said, like, here you go. Make a video. Make a hype video so that we can see what you're all about. Because that's basically what the intern position was for. And yesterday, she messaged us and told us that not only did she hear back from the people that were deciding, but they offered her a job. Yippee! Now, this is not an internship. They liked her video so much that they made up a new, like, paid position for her, where she'll be, like, the game day video lady, and then also the friggin' hype video person. And they made up a new job, and apparently she has more flexible hours and is getting paid more than she would have. So this is like an insane win. This is an insane win for Allie, our good friend Allie. It's actually cuckoo bananas right now. And for that, can we get one big clap from the Penguins? One big clap. If you think that what Allie did is really awesome and cool. And if you don't think it, don't tell us. If you don't think that's really awesome and cool, don't tell us. But, I mean, I'll know. Because I can feel when you guys clap in the ether. Like, I can tell, yep, I've felt it, that I know you clapped. The girl listening to this, I know you clapped. But if you didn't clap, then it's okay. Just don't tell us. Because we don't want that negativity in our lives, especially today, okay? It's freaking Raichu Day. It's Raichu Day, and it's a big day for me, too. Because I got a freaking interview. I have to interview. And the thing is, they wanted me for undergrad. Redlands wanted me for undergrad. But I didn't go there. If I went to Redlands, you know, the location would be really nice because it's very close to home. So, it would be like a super, super feasible commute to bring my stuff back and forth, and to visit home and etc. I've also put up all my little guys to make it so my car looks as fun as possible for this meeting. And maybe that's a little goofy, but I have Bergamot, my little chubby depressed cat, sitting on my dash. I have Raichu stuck down to my dash. I've got my Hongyodon hanging in the whatever. So, I hope everybody knows that I've got just a wonderful little car. I'm feeling stressed, everybody. I'm feeling stressed. But, okay, what other big news is there to talk about? I suppose, here's the deal about Rivals of Aether, everybody. Here's the deal. I really like this game. I really like it. I was playing as Forsburn the other day, and I was playing against this Clarin player. And I think that matchup is like really hard for me. Because normally when I'm Falco, right, I can like shoot a laser. Okay, sorry. My analogy, because Clarin has a big sword. So the way I have to think about the matchup is in terms of how I have fought sword characters in other games. And in Ultimate, a lot of the time you can run up like underneath their attack and shield it and shield grab. That's not as good against Clarin because the movement is so much better in or so much more free. There's so many more movement options in Rivals of Aether that I think you have to play it more like Project M or Melee or a similar game, right? So that leaves me with basically just how I play Melee against Marth as my only real experience for how to beat sword characters. Because playing Melee against Roy doesn't count, because Roy is actual trash. He's terrible. Like, how I beat Marth is, like, I have my plan set, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm confident, and I know how to bait them and do stuff. The way I beat Roy is to just run him over, to be honest. Like, sometimes you have to play really safe, like in moments, but you do also just kind of get to run him over in certain spots, because he's just worse. So, like, you don't have up tilt to be afraid of. Or, like, take laser or forward air. These just aren't scary things against Roy. But, okay, back to the point. The way that I fight Marth is either with Fox, you, like, use your movement and, like, get close to make him swing, and then you run in and grab him. Or, with Falco, you, like, shoot a laser to kind of put pressure on him to make a decision. And then you try to figure out what decision he's making. And then as he makes the decision, position yourself so that you can punish him for it. You can hit him. And the problem with this is, you know, I don't have a laser with Forsburn. So I'm stuck trying to figure out how to play a more, like, positioning-based, well, not more positioning-based, but more movement-based bait and punish type of strategy. So I'll move around, I'll try to get him to swing the sword, and then I'll jump in and hit him. My problem is that the only real, like, successful way that I have been able to hit this character after baiting out a move is to hit him with dash attack. And if he holds down, he crouch cancels my dash attack. And And when he crouch cancels my dash attack, it means that he is in an advantaged position, even though I have hit him. Because he's, like, using his defensive techniques in a good way. The problem with that, though, is, like, I don't know how else to hit him. Like, I don't know how to hit him legit. All my legit tools are, like, too slow to use in this context. Wait, there's a pretty awesome mini golf course right here, guys. That's a pretty good one. That place looks fun. I might try to figure out what that place is called and see if I can get myself in there. But yeah, so the problem is that it's really hard to find meaningful hits, I think. It's not that hard to find hits, but it is difficult to find meaningful hits. So I'm wondering if I'm maybe going about it wrong. I think that there are things I can probably do that are better than dash attack. But I just don't exactly know what they are. And I just need more experience to figure that out. Or, alternatively, I could play Zedderburn, and then I could just treat it like I'm playing Fox. Like, go about the matchup in the same way. So, yeah. It's just fun with Forsburn to like, figure out matchups and whatnot. I really enjoy the character. I think he's very fun. I also found out that, like, with Edalus, a really cool way to finish a stock, to, like, take it, is to, like, hit someone into the floor, and when they, like, when it's a tech chase, you do an up B to, like, launch them up. Because up B has a spike hitbox. And it has a spike hitbox on the bottom. So they'll, like, tech roll to a side, and then you'll go to wherever they are and up B on their head. And then they'll get launched in the air. You'll also get launched in the air with them because you've done up B. And then you can do the big sit. And it's, like, legit. It's like a real combo. Up B into down B is like a real, like powerful finisher. My goodness. We're really slowing down here. Everyone, we have regrettably added 4 more minutes to the time that it'll take. The highway has... We have forfeit 4 more minutes to the highway. But I built in a ton of time, so it should be okay. There would have to be, like, a pretty bad accident for me to not make it on time, so I'm chilling. Oh my gosh! That truck next to me just spewed out, like, a ton of black smoke when it sped up. That's crazy. Sorry guys, I was focused on driving and zoning out a little bit for just a second. I didn't think of enough stuff to talk about. I thought I would have more to say about this interview, and maybe I do. So, the things I like about Redlands, blah 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 blah. It's so boring. Oh my gosh, a Sinclair! I wonder how much their gas is. I wonder if I can see. Not without, like... I can't see without really, like, fully turning and looking. And I'm on the highway, so I won't. Oh, dude, that's a billboard for Waba Grill. Waba Grill would hit when I'm done with this freaking interview. Wouldn't it? You just get a tofu bowl? Bro, Waba Grill is the most fuel food I've ever eaten. You go to Waba Grill, you get a tofu bowl, and you eat it, and it's like actually just straight fueling you. No frills. Oh my god, can you... Whoa. That dude he slows down so fast out of nowhere. It's like not quite a brake check, but it's almost, you know. So I have these new shoes. They're from Factory Banana Republic. And they were pretty cheap. My mom got them while she was there, because she was like, well, he doesn't have any shoes that are like formal casual. Like, all I have is black dress shoes, and then normal like tennis shoes and like day-to-day wear shoes like Crocs, you know. So I don't have anything for that middle area where it's like semi-formal, you know. And when she was there, these shoes were on like Giga sale. She bought them for $30. On the bottom they say 80. So that's like pretty nice. We're cool with $30 shoes. The only problem is I really dislike the way they feel. So I won't be wearing them that much, but I will be wearing them for my interview. You know? Yeah, I'm getting anxious now, especially because I'm in traffic. Like, things aren't just going smoothly. And I'm getting there, like, it's not a meaningful amount late. Also, it says speed check ahead. Don't worry, guys. I'm, like, stuck in crazy traffic. The speed limit is 70. I'm going 30 miles an hour right now. But what was I talking? Oh yeah, I'm just getting anxious. I'm getting anxious for the big interview. I wanted to arrive by 8:15, and with all the traffic, I'm set to arrive at 8:21 for my 9 o'clock interview. They said be early. Like, get there at 8:40. So, you know, it'll be fine. Am I reiterating the same stories? Because, like, you know, Dusty has this thing too, apparently, in Canada. But I've always struggled with knowing who I've told my stories to. So I'll tell the same story, like, 4 times in a row to the same person. The problem is I think I'm telling the same story twice on the same PEGCAST. And that's, like, crazy. Like, when I tell it on one PEGCAST and then forget until the next one, like, that's a little more understandable. But I'm pretty sure I just said the same thing twice in a row. Anyways, I'm missing one of my classes today, and that's a good thing to talk about. In that class, we were going to talk about a research paper that was about dogs, because the class is called Canine Cognition, so it's like all about the psychology of dogs and like their evolution and what it tells us about domestication and blah blah blah. And the idea, basically, evolutionarily, is that you have dogs. Boom! The idea evolutionarily is that there are humans and there are other canids. These canids are technically not wolves, which is why I'm not going to call them that. But these canids were of 2 groups, essentially. I mean, just to dumb it down. One group was chill, and one group was not chill. And what that means is some of these canids who were less scared of humans would start to kind of follow them, and when humans were done, like, hunting an animal and taking what they wanted, the canid would come in and take what's left, take the scraps. And then, like, even bolder dogs, canids, I should say, would come towards the human, like, encampments where they were set up with their tents and whatnot. That was almost a car crash. They would go where they had encampments, and, like, little, very early in the history of humans, villages, and they would, wait outside these villages for the scraps. And you could call this a selection pressure, meaning, like, natural selection is pushing these canids towards being friendly to humans, because as they're friendly to humans, they're getting easier to access food. And as this pressure kind of pushes canids farther and further towards being friendly with humans, and some of the humans are not scared of canids and they're feeding them scraps, they start to develop individual bonds. And then humans will, while they go hunting, start trying to communicate with these canids and get them to hunt, right? So the human will point or will say something, and they'll communicate to this canid that they have to go and bite the animal or whatever, but they're communicating. And so now we have a more distinctly defined two camps of canids, right? There's the group that likes humans, who I will now call dogs, and there's the other camp, who technically are not wolves, but will eventually continue to evolve to become who wolves are today. So I'll begin to call them wolves. Now. I'll call them wolves now. So we got dogs who like humans, and wolves who don't. And there's some fundamental differences because the way that evolution has shaped these animals is such that the dogs really like humans and the wolves do not. And how do we know all that, right? Like, this is essentially just prehistoric data. Like, we don't know all this from some dude that, like, kept a really clean record of his, like, experience hanging out with dogs. We know this because of the way that we interact with dogs and the way that we interact with wolves today. So, dogs in, modern times have been selectively bred, which we'll call domestication. But that first experience where the dogs were, like, slowly kind of coming closer and closer towards human civilization and learning to socialize with them is called self-domestication. Because the dog basically domesticated himself. He came over, and it wasn't like an intentional choice by humans. This is just natural selection at work. Even if it feels weird to call it natural because humans are involved through actions that they are doing intentionally, like feeding the dogs. Regardless, we've domesticated dogs and we have not domesticated wolves. In between these two levels, there are dingoes who are basically, actually, this is not real, but they just look like Shibas, and they're from Australia. They look like Shibas. And so these dingoes, they self-domesticated, as in they moved closer and closer to human civilization, blah, blah, blah. But then, as we were deciding, or as the people in Australia were deciding they wanted to have more selectively bred dogs to do specific tasks, like how you would have a herding dog to herd the sheep, or how you would have a hunting dog to hunt, or a dog that can sniff really good to smell out where the prey is, instead of selectively breeding dingoes, people from Europe just bring over their dog. They're like, check it out, we got dog. And they're like, oh, forget this dingo business. So then dingoes are at a stage where they are self-domesticated, but not manually like human domesticated animals. And this lets us test some pretty interesting things, right? Like, we can see in certain experiments, we can see how good dogs, wolves, and dingoes are at, or I should really say it, wolves, dingoes, and dogs are at recognizing gestures from humans. So, if a human points at a certain direction, will the dog reliably understand that? Will the dingo reliably understand that? And will the wolf reliably understand that? And if we're correct about this whole history where dogs have self-domesticated and then been domesticated afterwards, and through this experience, they have evolved to better socially interact with humans, then it follows that the domesticated animal should have the best comprehension of human gestures, followed by the self-domesticated animal, who is self-domesticated but not yet bred specifically for certain tasks, and then the non-self-domesticated animal should do the worst, because they haven't had the evolutionary pressure to communicate with humans. And that means, I don't know if it's super easy to follow, but that means that the domesticated animal, dogs, should do the best, followed by dingoes, who are self-domesticated, and then followed by wolves, who should do the worst, because they're not self-domesticated. And you can test this with experiments like there's one that is very commonly done where you'll put treats in 2 cups, and the dog can't see that. I'm just going to say dog to mean all of them for the sake of this experiment. The dog can't see which cup the treat goes in, and then you move the 2 cups far away from one another and point at the correct one. And if the dog goes to the correct cup based on how you're pointing, then it follows that they are better at understanding cues than if they didn't go to the one you're pointing at. Right? Because you're pointing and they're understanding which one to go to, because they can see where you're pointing. And there's some conflicting research on this, because everyone who's done this study basically does it very slightly differently, and the methods just get kind of muddy, and it's just a mess. But if you look at the data as a whole, it seems to follow that dogs are the best, followed by dingoes, followed by wolves. Now, there's almost no dingo research, to be honest, just because it's a little difficult to go work with dingoes, and because people are more interested in dogs and wolves. But it seems that even like puppies who haven't like lived with humans their whole lives are better at understanding these gestures made from humans than are wolves. And if even baby puppy doggy is understanding, then it means that they're not learning how to interact with humans during their life, but rather they're born with it. They were born understanding. They called him Mr. Genius Puppy, and he understand how to go, where to go when the human point. Okay, basically Puppy is genius, and it shows us that dogs are not learning, but rather they're born with an understanding of human gestures that is better than that of wolves. And that supports our self-domestication hypothesis, or the domestication hypothesis, because dogs are innately better than wolves at these sorts of tasks. And then you will there are other kinds of gestures you can try. So instead of pointing, you'll put like an object next to the correct one. Like you'll put a little yellow block, like a wooden block, next to the correct one. And dogs get it more reliably than wolves. And there's another task called the unsolvable task, where Sorry, I was focused on this car that's trying to drive past me. There's another task called the unsolvable task, where there's basically just a box and the dog can't open it. And then you measure how quickly the dog looks to a human for help, and then also for how long. And dogs look quicker and look for longer than do wolves. So they're looking for human assistance. They've evolved to communicate with humans. Another task is this isn't a task, but another study showed that I was driving. Another study showed that there's a positive oxytocin loop. And that basically means, like, there's a chemical that gets released in your brain when you're doing friendship-related things. It, like, makes you closer with people. And when a dog and a human make eye contact with one another and look into each other's eyes, oxytocin gets released. And that means that the happy friendship chemical is released in dogs and humans and keeps increasing when they make eye contact with each other, when they look into each other's eyes. This doesn't happen in wolves. Wolves don't want to look at you, and they don't get friendship vibes when you're staring at them. So this is another reason for us to believe that that dogs have been selected for, meaning evolutionarily, natural selection has caused them to have more social communicative ability with humans, because they have this loop that makes them friends with humans in their brain, and humans have it in their brain. Wolves don't have this loop, so something is fundamentally different about the way that dogs are wired, basically. Like their neurochemistry is different. In a way that specifically helps them interact with humans. So that's pretty cool. And all this means that it seems very likely that dogs are epic town. It means that dogs are epic town, and it means that they understand how to communicate with humans. So the paper that we're reading today for class, which I read, but I'm not going to be there to discuss, I don't think, talks about, basically, it talks about how this one group did an experiment with dingoes, and as a reminder, they're self-domesticated, but not domesticated. And they wanted to see how dingoes would perform on the task where you check how many times, while the human is making eye contact, the doggy guy, the canid, looks toward the human, and you measure for how long they do it. And the only instructions that are given to the person, the experimenter, the human, are that if the dog comes close enough, you pet him. And that's called dog touching. And if you talk to the dog, then it's called dog talking. But in this experiment, it's called dingo touching and dingo talking, because they're talking and touching the dingoes. And if we are to if we believe that the self-domestication hypothesis is correct, then it should follow that dingoes look at humans more often and for longer than do wolves, but less than do dogs. The problem is that they only did the experiment with dingoes. There were no dogs and wolves. Like, what the heck, dude? So that's a little crazy. That's a little crazy, to be honest. But basically, that's what they found. The experiment was obviously done differently because it's like at a different lab and they're doing it with dingoes. So they don't have exactly the same setup. But they were comparing their dingo data with previous dog and wolf data. And they found that their dingoes looked at humans more often than freaking anybody. But dogs sustained eye contact for longer. And that pretty much follows, right? I mean, you can chalk up the, quantity of looking being higher in dingoes than dogs to random chance. You can also chalk it up to the fact that the study is conducted slightly differently. But, you have to take it with a grain of salt because of the way that the experiment was conducted. But the gist is, these dogs, they're looking the longest. The dingoes, they're looking longer than wolves, I'll tell you that much, but they're not looking as long as dogs. And that means that the non-domesticated animal is doing the worst, the self-domesticated animal is doing the second best, and the domesticated animal is doing the best. So it seems that dogs have been shaped by evolution, and there are pressures that have caused them to become better at communicating with humans. I'm going to take a sip of my water now. Thanks so much for listening. This has been my podcast where I talk about doggy. Guys, penguins, I have to make a podcast for class, and I realized this halfway through what I was talking about. Do you think that he'll be mad at me if I do it in the car? Like, do you think I could turn in what I just did? I went into way more detail when I realized I might be able to turn it in. But I don't think I will turn that one in. I think that one was a little much, I think I think me talking about hey, sorry, I'm not focused on friggin' driving. I think that was a little much, maybe. But I hope that was all interesting to you. I tried to reiterate myself a lot. I tried to be really clear. So, sorry if it was a boring section, but I was talking about doggy. Oh my goodness, it's bright out. Oh, my little eyeballs, they're not used to it. They're not used to it, everybody. They're not used to it. They're not used to the bright. It's been overcast, and now the sun is peeking through. I have to start getting over relatively soon. But there's so much traffic. Why is there so much traffic to the right of me? Oh, is that a crash? It might be a crash. I can't tell. Oh, it's construction. Okay, it's construction. It's not a crash. Hooray! That means that hopefully no one is hurt. Whew. Just locked in and talked about doggies. Maybe he'll understand, right? Maybe I can turn this in and I'll say, listen, Professor, I do record a podcast. It's called the PEGCAST. Because he's super cool. I was just telling you the other day, maybe it was yesterday, that Yeah, it was yesterday. I guess it was a week ago for y'all. But I was just telling you that Professor Silver is awesome, and we played Mario Party together, and then he asked me if I wanted to play Marvel Rivals, and I said yes. But we haven't played it yet because it's been busy. So, what am I saying, everybody? What am I saying? I'm gonna get over now. Oh, right, but maybe because he's chill like that, if I explain to him that I have a gaming YouTube channel that I produce a podcast for, can I just, like, use a snippet of that and then, like, send it to him? Maybe he'll accept it. Maybe, you know what? I could send this to him, like, early. And I could say, Professor, hear me out. I've already done this. If you would like, for the podcast, for the, like, assignment, I can be better about it. Like, I can make something more formal, if you'd like. But I explained it. So, if you'll count this, then I'll submit it. And I, of course, won't send him this whole thing. I'm gonna, like, snip it out. I'm gonna cut the parts out that are about. I'm gonna cut the parts out that are, like, just for the penguins, right? Like, this part won't be in there, and the beginning won't be in there. But I'll send him, like, the excerpts of my podcast, and maybe he'll like it. Maybe he'll be cool with it. Maybe not. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll look at the rubric. And then I'll see what he thinks. Whoa! This car's going fast past me. It's cute, also. It's like a cute little Mazda. Wow, it's, like, beautiful out right now. It's, like, super beautiful out. No way! Is that, like, an orange grove? Dude! I think that was an orange grove. Everybody. I should start getting over, but I'm a little confused. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm a little confused about, like, which lane is going, because there are a bunch of different highways that are going different directions. I'm having a bit of a California moment, but I think I understand where I'm going now. I think it's right here. Or I think I should stay straight here, and then I'll get over in, like, 10 seconds. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to get over yet. But I'm going to try to stay relatively close to the right side of the road. Guys, we've actually wrenched 3 minutes back from the highway's clutches. And I'm now set to arrive at 8:18. So long as everything goes well. I've got to merge. I just had a big truck, not a big truck. I had a relatively large van just merge right in front of me, going so much slower than I was. Don't they know about safety? Don't they know about safety, everybody? Oh, wait, I'm, like, almost there. Oh my gosh. Bergamot has fallen over, everybody. Bergamot has fallen over. I don't know when he fell, but Bergamot has fallen. I'll have to sit him back up when I'm getting out of my car. His Velcro pad completely came off his butt. Man, the sun is bright. When it's peeking out behind the clouds, though, and it's not, like, stuck behind them, it's such a nice day, you know? You know? This is my exit, everybody! Eek! Eek! Okay. This is my exit. This is my exit! Okay. I have to use the bathroom, is the thing, everybody, so... Whoo! And I know that I cannot go to my interview while having to go to the bathroom really bad. And the reason for that is I get really, like, jittery and antsy when I have to pee. So, yeah, he's definitely not getting the full thing. My professor is not going to hear me say that. I get really jittery when I have to pee, so if I don't pee, then I'll, like... Maybe I'll answer some things more hastily than I intend. Since I'm at a red light, maybe I'll reach over and sit Bergamot back up. There he goes. Oh. Sorry, I was running through some scenarios in my head about what I'm doing at this interview. I was thinking about sorry, I have to figure out where I'm going. Okay. I understand. Oh my god, that person didn't put on their... I got brake checked IRL, bro. I got brake checked IRL. I for actually have never been closer to rear-ending someone. Ooh, okay. Well, this is a nice little train station. There's a lawn bowling club? Where am I, dude? Where am I? What the heck? That's crazy. It's a nice park to my left. With a gazebo. I could probably park there if I wanted to, but I'll park where they told me. It's stressful making this right turn into the university. But here we go! Oh my goodness. I'm in the university now. And now I'm supposed to go this way? Wow, poppies. Those are beautiful poppies. I was thinking about, like, things that I'd ask if they're like, hey, like, what questions do you have? I was thinking about some things that my professor told me to say. What? There should be parking in front of the building, they said. They might be wrong. Low key. Okay, they're wrong, low key. Can I go right here? No. See, this is why I wanted to, like, double make sure I got here early. I'm actually, so there's a stop sign here. I'm gonna put on my hazards and stop a little early before I get to it. And then I'm gonna look up, I'm gonna see what they said about parking. Okay. Okay, they want me to park here. And I'm looking around to see that there's nobody behind me. North. Okay. Okay, so this is not the building they wanted me to park in front of. It was the address I received, but I think that might be the address of where the email was coming from, not the address of where I'm supposed to go. So, now I've kind of got it figured out. Wait, do I? I don't really have it figured out, but I'm just going to turn right and then figure it out from there. It's a car, and that's a lady. That's a person. That's a student. There you go. Okay, thank you. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost in the woods, everybody. It wouldn't be a Bad Peg episode without Bad Peg getting lost. Okay, where does it want me to go? I see. I'm gonna pretend like I'm going here, but I'm not pretending actually. I'm turning here. I'm making a U-turn. Oh boy, I'm so anxious. This may be the most anxious I'll be, is trying to figure out where to park. I'm so glad I built in all this time. I'm making a U-turn, but it's really tight. So I'm going! Okay. Sorry, there was just like a car behind me, so I had to figure that out quick. Okay, so where do I go? At the stop, turn left. Whoa, that person's in a trench coat. It's a student in a trench coat, I think. Oh, gosh. Well, a little palm frond just fell down. I think a crow threw it out of the tree. That's awesome. I like crows. Okay. Wait, what? I'm leaving campus. What? Oh, okay, she was right. There should be parking in front of the building. The lady that emailed us, she was definitely right. Oh, God. I'm going the wrong way. What is this building that I'm supposed to park in front of? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What is the building I'm going to? I'm going to hit en route, and then I'm going to look it up again. This is just a street. Where am I supposed to go? I'm so dumb. Okay. I understand. North University Hall. Use my location. Allow. Get directions. Begin route. Wow, I wonder if this works. The campus map website. Guys, this is why I give myself so much time. I was being stupid. I was being really, really dumb. And now I'm going to wait for the light so that I can get out of here. That person was so nice to me. They let me out. Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. So we're back on the right track, and I'm going to arrive at roughly the right time. You know, I'm so glad I built in all this time. I am probably gonna have time to go to the bathroom though, so like I haven't totally screwed myself. If I wanted to, I could just park here is the thing. Aha! So I shouldn't have turned in here. I should have kept going. Last time. Now it's my turn. At the stop sign. Is the campus really this big, or is the map wrong about where I am? Okay, it says to turn right here. Is there any no turn on red? There's not, but there are cars. Oh, and the light is fast. It turned green already. Okay. Oh, goodness. They call me Mr. Anxious. They call me Mr. Anxious, everybody. They call me Mr. Anxious. There's a cute yellow car over there. Oh, I'm getting close to where I have to turn. Okay. Is it here? I think it might be right here. Sorry. Oh, this is the building! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Yeah! Oh. This is the building. Okay, I can't park there. That's reserved for the dean. Is all the parking reserved? Oh, visitor parking, School of Education. Wait, that's me. That's me. I'm gonna loop back around and get in there. Oh boy. Visitor parking, School of Education. I'm doing loops right now. I'm spinning around. Visitor parking, School of Education only. Permit required. Pickup permit at reception desk. Okay, and now I'm going to read what the email says. Oh God, where'd it go? Parking should be available. I encourage you to arrive early by 8:40 so that you can find parking and pick up a parking pass at the front desk in North University Hall. I can't eat my banana. I can't do it. Well, anyways, guys, after a big stretch, that's going to be the end of this episode. Wish me the best of luck. Everybody comment below. Good luck, Batpeg, if you'd like. But make sure to like, subscribe, do all that great stuff, and I guess I'll be making another PEGCAST later today about how everything went. So, yeah. Good. Bye.